We don't want to stress him out. So Mary threw a party. Here's the story that we don't read. Mary threw a party. She threw a party because his life was changed. She threw a party because she was grateful for Jesus. This is a party about gratitude. This is a party about doing something for somebody because somebody blessed you. Not just a thank you, but I want to do something to especially show him how grateful we are. Her heart burst with gratitude, and she went and got some expensive perfume and poured on Jesus, put it on his feet. The gratitude and generosity is another mark of a changed life. When a person has been changed, a sign of change is deep and lasting. And when a person has been changed, their gratitude changes. Some of you, your situation has changed. You got more money, you got more than you ever had, but your heart hasn't changed yet because you're not grateful. There's something beyond thank you. There's something that says, I might need you again, so I better act like. So she got her perfume and she poured it on his feet. The Bible tells us that perfume was not some watered down bottle of Charlie. This perfume cost 300 denarii, which is equivalent to a year's wages. She had something stronger than Tom Ford. Imagine taking the entire salary for a year, spending it one night to show somebody you love them. Would you do that? One night? Nah, Pastor. I stretch it out maybe. But this is how grateful she was. I'm talking about the danger of a changed life. See, when your life is changed, it affects everything around you. You have an effect on other people that folk don't understand. Why is she doing that? Settle down, preacher. Some of you just ended this 90-day challenge, but some of you just been changed. And if we had church at midnight tonight, you would come at midnight tonight. Wouldn't think about having to go to work at 1 o'clock in the morning. Because it wasn't just something that finished. Something has happened to you. You might not be sitting near the front. You might not be sitting in the back. You might not even be in this building, but something has happened to you. So that night, others at the party, this is after Lazarus' death, they reclined at the table that night with Jesus. And one of them at the table was Judas. One of Jesus' disciples used to be what? He used to be just a homie. Now he's a disciple. So he's at the table. And he's the one who's in a minute going to betray Jesus. He's all with him until folks start spending money on Jesus. Judas is the accountant of the group. And he strongly objected to Mary's actions. What are you doing? That's a year's worth of, why are you putting them dollars on his feet? It was extravagant. He said it's not necessary. You don't have to do it that way. Jesus says to Judas, John 12:7, let her alone. Hello, somebody. Is this story coming together yet? I'm talking about gratitude. I'm talking about how you're going to act tomorrow now that the 90-day challenge is over. Now that God has answered some prayers, or now that God has taken too long, you gave him 90 days. And instead of saying, thank you, Jesus, this morning, you're going, it took you too long, Jesus. Jesus had to straighten his boy out publicly. Judas, let her alone. Leave her alone. Jesus received her actions and her devotion as an expression of love. What looked like waste was actually a beautiful reflection of a changed life. But I thought we were talking about Lazarus. We were. Lazarus was changed, and his change changed her. You don't get it. Changed lives are contagious. That's the dangerous part about it. See, she was so grateful for what Jesus did for her brother. She was so amazed that now old stiff man is moving, that she has been changed herself. Something has happened. Okay, settle down, Pastor. You see, during this last 90-day challenge, some of you may not have taken the challenge, but you're so grateful if you really look inside of how God has blessed somebody else. You ought to be so grateful at how God has touched different in pastor's life, or the dog's life, or the people down the street, that it should have by now started to create a transformation in your own. Mary wasn't dead. She didn't get raised from the dead. Lazarus didn't put the perfume on his feet, but someone who was affected by his change did. This message won't sink in until probably January. Somebody is affected by how God has blessed you, but your actions will indicate whether you ever receive a blessing or if you're going to have to work like a dog the rest of your life. Then Jesus reveals that Mary had been saving this perfume for a while. Judas, first of all, you're out of order for telling her. Now, you know money, but you don't know hearts. So back off, Mary. Quit trying to put her out and throw her under the bus. You've been with me all this time. You ain't even shook my hand. Then he had to get the record straight. He said, she's been saving this perfume. Let's go back a year ago, IBOC, when the Lord said, open up an account. I said to some people the other day during the 90-day challenge, I wanted to increase my giving, so I wanted to give more than I've ever given before. And I gave an amount that I'd started giving. And people were like, oh, he makes that? No, I saved it. I didn't know why I was saving it. And when God says, prove me now. Whoa. How am I going to prove you? Because you obeyed me earlier. When I told you to save it, and I'm going to show you what to do with it, but you got to trust me that when I say open up an account, don't go buy a car, don't buy a house, don't get a jet. Save it because you're going to pour it out to show me how much you love me. I got to figure out a fast way to do this second service. And so this was not a spontaneous, irrational behavior. Ooh, just get some perfume. She saved it. And the reason sometimes when we start doing things like a 90-day challenge and God's asking us for something, see, we missed the part where God was teaching us to save. And so now we seem to have to do things spontaneous, which makes it seem stressful, which makes it seem hard, which makes it seem impossible, which makes it seem like it wasn't God. It wasn't just a pop-up plan that he had or that she had. She had been saving for this. Just like you hold on to some anger. You know how you've been saving your stuff so when you get a chance to say something? Okay, this is the wrong group. That's second service. All right. So Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, they lived together, and they probably discussed the gift that they would give and what she should give and what should we give Jesus. And so what is our gift to show our gratitude? What could we give him? Mary had the answer. She had seen Jesus live his life. She had watched him with people. She noticed her own heart came alive in his presence. Got some key words now. She had seen, she had watched, she had noticed. She grew closer to him during a time of waiting for him to arrive. through her deep disappointment, because remember when they got there, she was hurt. But through her deep disappointment, she learned a deeper part of love that she had never, ever seen before. She saw Jesus live abundantly. And she chose to do the same. If this man can go against what all of these folk are seeing and bring my brother back to life, there is nothing that I possess that I couldn't give to him and get back double.